Okay, hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey.
The name is 100% subject to change right off the bat. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. This is just something that James and I kind of thought, like, I don't know, what would you really say the thought process
It was like
was on
ad
this?
lib. It was like, what are we only as good as our memes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more or less that is
so we're only as good as our memes.
we're
So
only as good as our memes. Okay, so if someone does come up with a better name, I'll give them a bond. Also,
I will
if
also give
this
them a bond.
if this takes off, then I want to be able to give the person who suggests a topic for that week, or I think we're gonna do this every other week. I want to give them a bond because I think it's a good way to interact, you guys, and only if this takes off we want to be able to bring a bunch of different people on. So, bring on maybe some other YouTubers, some streamers, just some fans, whatever it might be. Some girls. I don't
The
even
men,
know.
boys, and friends.
Yeah, what?
The men, boys, and friends.
The men, boys, and friends. Oh, yeah, we really need to change this
Yeah,
name.
it's a really horrible name.
Okay. So I've never actually done a podcasty thing before. Like, I've never really sat down aside from streaming and just talked for a few hours, well, maybe like an hour or whatever it is, about a few different topics. Have you ever done that, James?
I haven't. I mean, I've done something similar where I've come on to just kind of discuss things, kind of like in a debate form, like way back when. This was like maybe 2010, so it's been a while.
Well, I feel like you should properly introduce yourself if you are going to be the main person on this, because this is mainly just yourself and myself who are going to be doing this podcast. We're going to be the main two people, or, however it actually works, but the plan is to be, just us two as the main podcasters, and then we bring in someone new every episode, and we can talk to them about something new. But just as a quick here he is, I guess.
Yeah,
This is my friend
hi.
James. I've known him for a very long time. You go into the intro though.
Yeah,
You
and
talk
you know
about
what?
yourself.
Most of you do know who I am. For those of you who've watched his streams or even some of his videos before in the past, he's used my accounts and my voice in some things. If you have checked out Kevin's Corner, but I'm James, aka LikeTheSauce. Most of you know me from my live streams or videos. If you flocked over in some sort of weird
No one watches
realm of
those.
YouTube, but maybe you have. I'm not as quite as
I'm
popular as
kidding.
Mr.
I'm
Kevin,
kidding.
but now you know who I am. Hopefully, you stick around. You like who I am.
Well, regardless, that's
Yeah, even
James.
if you don't, fuck it.
That's James though, and I've known James for a very long time. I think I've known you for at the very least 4 years? 5 years?
Yeah.
James has actually been over my house before too, and that's like something you really don't
Yeah,
do
I mean,
with RuneScape friends.
I slept in your bed.
Yeah.
I slept with your dog. I slept in your bed with your dog. Your mom came over, like she opened up the door and was like, "I'm so sorry," like she had just stepped on my frog or something.
No, like she walked in on you guys having sex and was like, "Oh, I'll come back later."
Yeah, she caught me with like this dead ass look of regret on my face.
Like it felt good until you showed up. Well,
As long as nobody found out, that were the terms and conditions.
Exactly. So I've met him in real life, so I've known him for a very long time, and he is hopefully the next up and coming YouTuber.
God,
Not in the RuneScape category, like
Yeah.
maybe in the RuneScape category, but it's pretty hard to actually grow in the RuneScape category,
It really is. There's not too much left.
Okay, so what we want to actually talk about, though, since this is both our first time doing a podcast, what we were first going to do, by the way, is we were going to have it on live stream, and we kind of have done it before on live stream, but it's not really the same thing,
Not by
Like-
a long shot.
Exactly. So we are pretty much officially doing this. I'm just going to use my main channel for this because I think it's an interesting experiment to see what you guys actually think and if you guys listen to podcasts. Because I know for a fact when I'm sitting down grinding, I watch so many different podcasts. I've watched, within the past, I want to say like week or two, I've been watching the Sleepy Cast. I have always watched it. Wow. I've always watched the Rooster Teeth podcast. That was a really interesting podcast. It was well, it is. It's an ongoing podcast, and I've watched Yogg's cast before. It's something you just do when you play RuneScape. You know, you watch YouTube, you watch live streams, or you watch podcasts. You know.
And when I was on my drive to, was it North Dakota, South Dakota, whatever Dakota I went to meet my father, I had listened to just about every single episode of the Sleepycast. And for those of you who don't know what the Sleepycast is, it is a podcast that Rice Pirate, Spaz Kid, Oni NG, Psychic Pebbles, sometimes
it's like the whole animating
group.
The
whole animation community is pretty much in on this. And they're great. They're like a fantastic bunch of guys. And they're funny.
We can't sell them out of our podcast.
No, okay. So like after you're finished listening to this, go ahead and check them out because they're fantastic. And
yeah, exactly.
Rice Pirate
they're good.
is probably going to do an intro for us.
You think so?
Hope. Yeah. Oh, he said he would.
He said he would. Well, doesn't even know who I am though. That's the real question.
We just need a name. We need a solid name for this podcast and a script, and then he will do an intro for us. Like
that'd be really cool.
Kind of
we can do whatever he needs. I mean, he probably doesn't need much, but we can do whatever he needs.
Well, we could always direct channel traffic because some people who may not know. I mean, he doesn't do YouTube that much, but he does do commissioned work and stuff like that. So that's always cool.
Oh, well, yeah, we can always point them there, people in their direction.
Sponsored by Rice Pirate.
Sponsored by Rice Pirate. we would absolutely need to, become more so of a thing, though, I guess. I don't know. Regardless.
Maybe.
This is our first podcast. That's really the point here.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, like, a lot of people know what you do in RuneScape, right? They watch your videos and stuff like that. But, like, what do you do for work? What do you do in your life?
Well, as I've said in the past, I do YouTube, obviously. It's not really my main job, although for those that don't know, you do get paid for YouTube. And it is a nice flow of cash to actually have. And I really do appreciate what I do because I've never really thought to myself that I would be where I am today. And it's kind of like a humbling thing, regardless of whether or not people like my videos, they don't like my videos, they like who I am as a person. It's cool to be able to see that I was able to grow to where I am today. Obviously, because people enjoy my videos for whatever freaking reason. They do, I guess. But people enjoy my videos, and it's cool to see that I've grown to where I am today. But I've never really planned on this being a job, and I've never really treated this like a job, because the second I treat this like a job is the second that I feel... Yeah, it's not fun. It's the second I feel like I need to make next month's rent. It's the second I feel like I am forced to make videos. Now, what I like to do, because it's a really fun hobby for me, I like to have videos up every 2 to 3 days, because I really don't play too many games, but I really try to balance it so I have videos like every 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, so as to not stress yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But as of right now, if I was to do videos every 2 to 3 days, then I would not really be able to sustain an income. So what I actually do for work is I build websites and I do marketing. I do SEO for companies. I've done it for a bunch of different companies in New York, because that is where I live. And every now and then I do some websites and everything for people in New Jersey, maybe some people in Connecticut. It's really just however you get the connection, And it's something that I didn't even go to school for. I just kind of got lucky and got with a company that likes me, I guess. Like, I randomly found it. I was not even looking for the job. Before that, I think I was making just about $400 a month from YouTube and my job, or maybe like $500 from YouTube and my little side job. And I just worked... I've worked so many little jobs here and there, but I've worked little like retail jobs, like working behind the counter at like little restaurants. I've done busing, I've done waitering and everything, and I've mainly done it like, which kind of stinks. It's been like all like a 45-minute to 50-minute commute, which kind of sucks. But I got lucky when I found this job, because I think it was... I was about making like $500 from everything, and I had a car payment. I still do have a car payment of about $370 a month, so it really didn't leave me much room for anything. But when I found this job, it was actually something that I could support myself with, because I go to college, I'm able to pay for my loans, and then I'm able to actually move out within the next 2 to 3 years. It's been really good, and although I would like YouTube to be able to be my source of income, and obviously I'm making a bit more than $500 a month from YouTube, then I would have to be able to treat it like a full-time job, but I feel like that's the point in which I can't really do YouTube full-time.
But, you never really want to make it a full-time thing either. I mean, some people that have the potential to have full-time YouTube careers generally don't, even still, because there's other things that they need in their life to distract them from, the constant pressure of having to be creative consistently. Some people don't like that pressure. I mean, you go to school, but on top of that, you stream and you make YouTube videos, and you're up until sometimes 3-4 o'clock, having to go to school at 9. And that's taxing.
Yeah, it does get to be, because I mean, you've known, we'll both sit there for a few hours while you'll be editing a video, or I'll be editing a video, or we'll be live streaming, or whatever it might be. And you really have to put in hours for YouTube, like a lot of people see it sort of as like it would be a fun job. That's something I would want to do. And do not get me wrong, it's a very blessing position to be where I am right now and to be able to see any future growth. But there's a lot of hours that you have to actually put in. And on top of that, there's a lot of people that don't want to see you succeed. So, I mean, as you know, with the whole thing I used to learn in the past, which obviously that is in and of itself something that people are not okay with. And I'm fine with people not being okay with that. But what I want to be able to do, and what I've tried to do for the past, I don't know how long, ever since I stopped, for like the past 4 years, I've been trying to establish myself as sort of like a separate person, as a matured person. But people will still kind of look past that, and they will not really ever change their judgment on you. And that's kind of just the way that people can be. And I get that, but the whole thing is, it's kind of like a brand repairing sort of thing.
Yeah, damage. I mean, well, you will forever be in a constant cycle of damage control. People will always be upset at you for something because you've become that easy target. It's kind of like, being 15 years old and vandalizing something. People will always see you as a vandal in your community until you grow up a little bit, but you'll always be that one kid everybody remembered for being a vandal, regardless of how your status has changed, your personality has changed, or you've matured. People will always see you as that kid that broke car windows, and it's not something that you're necessarily in the position anymore to try to escape, but kind of prove those people wrong. And some people you can't prove your case against. You can't prove an argument against something that they're arguing for or against. It's just one of those constant bullshit, damage controlled, chaotic matters that you yourself will never be able to outlive, unfortunately, and unless you move communities, because the community has people in it that are either unreasonable or they are just too set. They're too set in that you're a piece of shit, or that you're an awesome person.
It would absolutely need a shift in attitude. But the thing about the RuneScape community is, I really do like it, even though I get a lot of shit, and it's normally from a very minor group. It's from a very vocal minority, and they'll make up anything and anything just to see you get mad. And I'm not really ever trying to change their opinion on me, because I understand that that's something that people just do for entertainment, and you can't realistically expect people to not bully you, because it's all it's for fun. All of this is just for fun, and I'm not ever trying to say, stop targeting me, because that's silly. Why would I ever really try to say something? The only thing that I can ever really do is try and let them know who I am a little bit, but it only unfortunately gives them more ammunition. And what people have told me to do in the past, and even some of the people that harass me, they have told me that if they want me to make it up to them, or if they want to change, or to have my opinion or their opinion changed on me, rather, that I should donate $1,000 to charity. And I don't really like the idea of you have to give money to charity.
Spitefully donating to charity to, prove some fake sense of remorse for something that wasn't even bad.
It seems fake, because if I have the money and I give the money, it's not changing anyone's opinion. That being said, I guess this is going to be a quick tangent really quickly. I really do, or really would rather, like to find the time to be able to have a charity stream and a 24-hour live stream. I have never done a 24-hour live stream. I think the longest I've ever done was 13 hours, and that was with LMS. And I sat there. I lost, I think this was when LMS first came out. I lost games for 8.5 hours.
I remember that.
You remember that,
horrible.
right? That was horrible. That was when it first came out. I wasn't that great at it. I really didn't have the prayer flicking down. I was getting really bad RNG. Whatever it might have been, I was not really the best. I lost for 8.5 hours. And after that, I just went on a winning spree. And I think I won like 1 in every 5 games, and like it was like a curse was lifted or whatever it was. But that was a 13-hour stream. And although it was me being stressed out for 8.5 hours because I couldn't win a single game of LMS, at the end of that 13-hour stream, I was pretty happy that I sat and streamed for 13 hours, because I think I maintained. Yeah, I wasn't even streaming too much. I think I maintained about like. That was like a 600, 700 viewer stream, like constantly. Like I went up to like 1,200 viewers, and then I went down, I think, like to like 500 viewers. But like it was pretty consistent at a 600, 700 viewer, range of people watching me play LMS. So that should give you like a general sense of how many people liked to watch LMS at the time. Because like a normal stream for me is maybe about 400, 500 viewers, depending on what I'm doing. I normally like to be doing something interesting every time, but point being from this whole little tangent is that I really would like to be able to do a charity live stream, but I need to first find a good charity to get myself behind, and then I need to be able to have 24 hours free, because as you guys, or as you heard before, it's really hard to balance school, and I'm a senior right now. I'm really overloading all of my classes so I can be able to graduate out of school and just go with my full-time job and then do YouTube and everything, and to pretty much just get into like the actual starting point of life. You know what I mean?
Really get yourself ahead of the game.
Exactly.
I mean, it makes sense. Checkpointing, or not checkpointing. I guess you could call it checkpointing. When you take your life goals, you kind of like spread them out into tinier, more achievable things. YouTube is not your end state. Your end state is to, get out of college and start your life for real, like actually kind of adult.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. And I do want to echo a point on that, but I should probably finish the thought that I want to say maybe within the next... It's going to have to be over my little break of semesters, which I even have school in between that, and I have a lot of stuff going on, but I will try and find the time within the next 2 months to be able to, at the very least, a 12-hour stream, to be able to get a 24-hour live stream going for charity. Maybe I'll have 2 days of doing that, so I really should probably start looking into that. Anyway, the reason why I do treat YouTube as though it's not really a job per se is because of the inconsistency of it, because I have never had a consistent amount of views or a consistent amount of, I guess, revenue or income to be able to make payments, for school or for, an apartment or whatever it might be, for school, whatever it might be. It's not a consistent income, and I think that something that you like, the fact that you're in the military, is that consistent income. I do.
And that's what stops me.
Yeah, please echo me.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's something that definitely stops me from getting out, in a couple months. Like I think about how miserable I am, and I kind of think...
Well, you, establish a bit of a background.
Okay, well...
Because you've been in the military for, what, 2-3 years
Two and a half years in August. So I joined the military I was almost 19. So I was 18, almost 19. And I'd gotten married young, really dumb stuff. And I had joined the military because the benefits were like, pretty decent. I didn't have money for college. I dropped out of high school at 16. I was just done. I had some stuff happen where I was just like, I looked at people and I was just not happy with the way I was living my life, and I was very turned off by progressing, in life positively. So I was like, okay, I got to get out of school. I got to work on making myself happy, figuring out what I want to do, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and there was just way too many distractions. So as I, matured a little bit more, and when I got to that point of being an adult now, like a legal adult, not that I couldn't have stayed at home like Kevin and gotten college done and worked and did all these things. I just had to make a decision to be somewhat independent, but also have some purpose and direction. And being in the military definitely gave me that purpose. And now 2 years later, I'm looking at a $3,000 paycheck every month, regardless of how shitty my days are, how long they are, how short they are, how bad I get treated, how good I get treated. I get the same amount of money. And I really do like that. And a lot of people who just start YouTube have asked me, and I don't know why, because I'm definitely not the staple or the highlight person to ask about YouTube stuff. But I do know a lot because of you, obviously. But why don't you monetize your videos?
I would still say that you know a decent amount about YouTube that a lot of people don't know about.
Yes, I've got a fair.
From an entertainment standpoint, I would absolutely 100% say you know what you're doing with YouTube. Maybe the ideas just aren't there, or maybe you're not making a connection with a certain video or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Maybe because of your job, you're not able to put in enough hours. But overall, I would definitely say that you have a really talented side to you, because I don't I don't know if this will come as a surprise to you, but the RuneScape player doesn't really talk to that many people, or doesn't really have that many friends. So, well, I mean, I wouldn't really say that I don't have that many friends, but when I guess that's just kind of me. What would you call that? An introvert? I would kind of say I'm introverted in that sense. I really do like to talk to people, but it depends on the type of person that I'm talking to. Like you are the type of person that I can talk to and hang out with every day, because you don't take everything so seriously. There's a time to be serious, and there's a time to joke around, and you understand that. But a lot of people that I've met in real life, I'm talking about, this is strictly real life. A lot of people that I've actually met aren't like that.
Yeah, like they don't pick up on the social cues.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't pick up on social cues, or maybe they do pick up on social cues, but they
read too much into it.
Yeah, they read too much into it. Maybe they are perfectly fine, and that person and myself don't really connect on much more of we hang out once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks sort of deal. But the thing is, I would definitely say that you have that type of personality to be able to make it in entertainment.
That's all I want. I mean, that's all I want, really. Like, I'm most comfortable in front of, a group of people. I love being able to interact with, whether it's online or in real life. There's been times where I've been afforded the opportunity to speak in front of like a large group of people at a college just for a public speaking thing. Just something like go up here and talk. Yeah. One of the community
that's really cool.
college,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of the community colleges like right outside of Seattle had like this event going on. It's for
the military, correct?
No. Well, I mean, it was because of the military that I found out about it, but it was completely separate. Like I was just supposed to go there and talk. So that's good. That was good stuff. Like it just kind of gave me an opportunity to see if I'm really as confident in front of people as I think that I am. And I am. I mean, maybe a little nervous, but not anything that shows, inherently. I do like.
There's always like that little
It's like, oh wow,
level
there's
of
people.
nervousness, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
there always is. It's always going to be there. The thing is, you need to be able to hone in on that ability. You need to be able to grab that ability by the balls, more or less,
no,
and
for
be
sure.
able to turn it into something good, into positive energy.
Right. And that's why I'm at that impasse where I'm like, okay, I'm here in the military. My passion is for entertainment. Entertainment makes me happy. The military doesn't make me happy. The money makes me happy, but sometimes, I think to myself, like, I could work with the experience that I have, I could work in a state park. I could work for the waste management and do hazmat inspections because of my certifications. I could do so many things that would probably pay a lot more. Maybe I wouldn't get, a doctor's appointment any day of the week that I want, or, my dental completely paid for, schooling. I mean, I'm already half or 75% of the way to having my school being completely paid for. But I would much prefer that over waking up at 4:50 every single morning, working out until 7:30, and then starting my day at 9 and not getting off until 4:30, 5 o'clock the next day to do it all over again. It's very taxing, and some days are longer, some days are shorter, but it just is, it's a lot. And as I'm preparing,
I would still say, even throughout all of this, though, that it is still, even though there's a lot of stress to it, because there's a stress to any job, the fact that it's consistent, and this is just what I see, the fact that it's consistent is the selling point.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the consistency is pretty much the only thing that I look at when I think about, like, getting out. I look at the house that I'm in, and I think about how I would pay for that if I wasn't in the military. I'd have to struggle. I'd really have to struggle, and I've struggled before. I mean, there's one thing that I've definitely gotten from the military, and that is maturity. I've
and independence,
learned a lot of independence. I've had to make a lot of sacrifices. I've had to do a lot of things I didn't want to do. I've had to do a lot of things that I'm happy that I got to do. I got to do a lot of awesome, little kind of isolated tasks that not too many people get to do, and that's awesome. And I think
I would say overall, though, that the point that I was actually trying to make from this whole thing is that even though it is, sometimes, good, sometimes you really like what you're doing, sometimes you hate it. Well, most times you hate it recently, but I understand.
I hate it,
The point being from that, though, is it's consistent.
Sure.
And even though you might not be doing this forever, I'm not sure if you will or not, but even though you might not be doing this forever, at least it was consistent. And I think that was the whole point I was trying to make with the whole YouTube thing.
Even if I was making $1,500-$1,600 off of YouTube every month, that could pay for my housing and stuff like that. And that's really all I got bill-wise. But I would never consider it a job, because that paycheck that I get from fucking DFAS,
you need to be able to get like thousands or millions and millions of views. Sorry to interrupt.
I would need to get millions of views for that. So
absolutely.
Even if I was making that kind of money, right, I would still be like, well, that's $1,600 in my pocket, but my real job, my actual job, is the one that's paying me that consistent amount every single month.
Exactly, and that was the whole point I was trying to make.
But besides that, like, what I know that we went over kind of briefly, like that we met up, we did things, and I remember, like, when we were together, we did videos. We worked on some videos because we did the reviews, and we did some stuff. And I watched.
I would have liked to be able to do a lot more of those.
Yeah, it would have been nice. That's why I'm trying to move over to the East Coast, and I think if we have the option to go film something in real life, we are.
It would be nice, even if it's like an hour, 2-hour drive.
Yeah, something like that. Nothing too terrible. But like we did a lot of things that I don't think that you've done in a really long time. Like, we went to the movies, went to the batting cages, we did all these things. Like, do you do anything else? Like, because I mean, I know a lot about you, but I don't really I don't know what you do in your spare time besides RuneScape and YouTube. And if that's all you do, then, besides, your other relationships and things like that, like what do you do? Like, you get bored, you go out? Like, what do you actually do?
The thing that I do when I'm bored, and I've always done this, is when I'm bored, I play RuneScape. Obviously, whenever I'm bored, I play RuneScape. But I would only say the reason why when I'm bored right now I play RuneScape is because I've been in a relationship for a pretty long time, honestly, like over a year. But I've been consistently in relationships, maybe on and off a few months here and there, since I've been 19.
Yeah,
and
sounds about right.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it doesn't really give you much opportunity, obviously, unless you don't like that person. Or I guess this is maybe just the way I am. It doesn't really give me much of an opportunity to do much else, because I would rather spend my free time, if I'm not playing RuneScape, which, that's really the one thing that I come home every day and do. I'll go to school, and then I'll come home. Maybe I have some work I can do at home. Maybe I have work I can do at school, like on my laptop for work, non-school related. Then I'll come home, I'll eat, and then I'll play RuneScape. But if I'm not doing that, then I am either in a relationship, or not in a relationship, that sounds stupid, doing something with my significant other, I guess I should say. I'm in a yeah, that doesn't sound right. Or I really don't do much. Like, I hang out with my friends every now and then, and we'll go out to get food, or we'll go out to the movies, or whatever it might be.
Right.
But the last time I honestly saw a movie was with you, and that was many months ago.
Yeah.
Well, that was like four months ago.
That was Suicide Squad,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Suicide
that was
Squad?
Suicide Squad.
Which
Fuck that movie.
I really wanted to enjoy that movie.
So did I.
It
was only until afterwards we were like, oh, that really blew dick.
Yeah. Well, when we watched that one movie review from Your Movie Sucks.
Yeah.
Like we were pretty confident, like, yeah, like that had some like errors here and there, but like that was pretty good. And then like we watched that movie.
The guy just destroyed it. It was like he told me Santa wasn't real. I was just like defeated.
Oh.
I was defeated.
Yeah, I know, but Santa is real.
Santa is real. PSA.
Yeah,
I guess that
Santa
makes me boring
real,
too.
thankfully.
I like that. I come home from work. I sometimes don't even get my uniform off until like I'm about to go to bed. I think that's just because sometimes I'm most comfortable. If I'm gonna stream, I take my uniform off. I put on some boxers and stream from the waist up. But like,
which thankfully, by the way, one thing I've always appreciated about you, not on the exact boxers point, but
I've always appreciated streams from the waist up.
Yeah. No, realistically though, I've always appreciated the fact that you've never taken advantage of the fact that you serve in the United States military, because that is something that I've seen people take advantage of, like.
I've seen it on
a
Twitch.
lot.
I've seen it on Twitch, and it makes
stolen
me upset.
valor. Stolen valor.
It's not even stolen valor.
No, not stolen valor. Obviously, I'm joking. People do that, but
it's just,
the actual people that take advantage of it.
I really hate it. I hate. There's this one kid in the fucking Marine Corps.
Well,
he's barely out of basic training, and he's streaming in uniform.
Don't go into anyone.
Fuck you know who you are. Anyway. But like,
don't go into any
I'm
sort of.
I'm not.
You don't want to call anyone out.
Fuck that guy.
That's not right.
But besides the point, like, when I get bored, I come home, I play RuneScape, and if I really do get bored, I treat myself to food. That's all I do is I
treat myself.
I treat myself. Like, I even sound fat when I'm talking about food. Like, I treat myself to food.
Food is very good.
Well, no, like, and it's become a problem. It's become a definite problem, because what I used to do.
Well, you're not fat. You're not fat. Okay, in terms of like, normality, I think you aren't fat. I don't think you don't really, like, you might have a little chub to you, but like you have like that normal, like, oh, I'm 30 and I work, so I have chub,
can we get a picture on screen
chub,
right now of how fat I am? There we go. Perfect. See,
I have to go in and edit that now, right?
Yeah, it's fine. You're gonna have to. I'm gonna send you a picture of me like 46 weeks pregnant. That's what you're gonna get. I'm gonna be.
All right, fine. I'll put it in there, but that's really gonna be a pain in the ass to go and find that. But that's fine. I'll go put that little picture in there.
But
like,
honestly,
really quick, in terms of editing things in, I really would like to have a little stream intro to this, like, fucking Man-Boy podcast.
Previously on Man-Boy podcast. Oh, look
we
how
weren't gonna have
fat
it.
I am.
We were gonna have it as previously on, which I like the idea, but I don't know if it has much application. James came up with the idea of previously on, and I like the name, but I'm not sure of the application of it, because we would be able to have like a little bit in the beginning of it.
The point is, like, so everything is like previously on Jimmy John's, and we just it's not like it doesn't have anything to do with Jimmy John's. It has nothing to do with anything, but it kind of like clips it clips like 30 seconds of the previous podcast into like a previously on podcast. Like it was previously on this podcast.
Well, the thing that we wanted to do, or that the idea from what I remember was, it wasn't going to be anything about the podcast. It was just going to be a little skit that we had at the beginning, like a 20-30 second skit.
Yeah, it's like,
and we were going to call it, and we still could, if you guys like the name, if anyone's listened to this point. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure some people have listened.
Hi, people.
Hey, Burris.
Hey, Burris.
If you've listened to up to this point, say, "Hey, Burris."
Hey, Burris.
I'll give the first person I see, I'll give them $1 million. Because thanks, dude.
Hey, Burris.
Hey, Burris.
There's somebody right now that has been scrubbing this video. Randomly got here. He's just having a fucking field day right now in the comments. He knows.
Well, I mean, people don't. He would have to randomly scrub in 40 minutes and to be able to find that. If he wants to scrub 40 minutes of my video, or of our video rather, of this podcast, then he can do that. He really can do that. But point being was that it was going to be called the Previously On Podcast, and I really do like the idea, but I guess what I am lacking here is a feedback on that name.
It seems confusing.
If you guys think that the Previously On Podcast would be a good name, then I am all for it, and I can change it to that. We will change it to the Previously On Podcast.
The name of this podcast is, we don't know what the name is.
Podcast.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Yeah.
There you
exactly. Go. Yeah. So that I guess that's what it might be called in the future. I don't know. You guys have to let us know. But like, getting to the next point that I actually wanted to think, or the next thing I wanted to talk about was what really got you into gaming? Because I've been meaning to ask that for the past 5 minutes, but I was just, I was having a field
day. A whole
day
5 minutes. That thought has been just.
It's
very
been looming
important,
around.
Obviously, it's been
like my inner thoughts been like,
man, Kevin, just fucking say it, huh?
Like asking a girl to prom, or
like asking a girl
if
to
the
prom.
baby's yours.
Oh well, yeah, exactly. It's like, well,
if I don't
respect her right now.
If I don't ask, maybe it just won't happen.
If I don't ask, maybe it's not mine.
Yeah, I've done not in this specific situation, but I've done that before. Like, man, if I just don't ask, maybe it just won't ever happen.
Maybe it's just not mine.
Maybe it's just not mine.
Anyway, what really got you in the game?
My best friend Christian. Like, officially, I've always played kind of video game type things. I think the first game I ever played was like this computer game by Tonka. It was like this Tonka truck game that I played, or maybe it was like it was a Hot Wheels computer game. Same track over and over again, and same thing. It was just the same racing game over and over again. And I think that the first game I really played, like, seriously, was Kingdom Hearts 1 for the PS2. I played some other games here and there, kind of like...
Very good game, by the way.
Yeah,
very good game.
It was one of my favorite games. I was addicted to it. There was a time where I was sick. Like, I was in the hospital for something, and I got out, but there was like a 2-week recovery time that I was just completely locked away in my room playing Kingdom Hearts 1. And what got me into PC gaming...
that sounds about right. Like, whenever you'd be sick, that's a good game to really just sit down and get yourself lost into.
Yeah, well, being 7.5 years old, I was that many. I just had to find time to waste, because I lived in a big house, but not like it's a big house. Like, it's a fucking huge house. Where is the fucking bathrooms here? Like, it's a maze. It was just a gigantic house for a 7-year-old, but also a gigantic house for people. But the thing is, it was so big that we didn't have kids, like cul-de-sac kids. So there was really only time to stay inside or do whatever. If you wanted to go out and have friends, you had to go to school or...
That reminds me of Ed, Ed and Eddie, the cul-de-sac kids.
Yeah, I just said cul-de-sac kids, and I looked at Jawbreakers on my desk, and I was like, man.
Jawbreakers!
I can't do the Eddie. Jawbreakers, Eddie!
Yeah.
And that's the last impression I ever do.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay,
I can't do it
but in
either.
actuality...
Yeah, but I mean, after that, like, everybody got me into RuneScape in school. And then I guess that was like the first official computer game I started playing. But like, what really got me, what really got me into gaming, which got me interested in Steam and PC gaming in general, was Half-Life. I played the original Half-Life, and that was because of my friend Christian. Christian was your average, doesn't shower for 3 days, sits on the computer for so long. And he's my best friend, and I love him. He's still like that. He actually, you could probably find him on Twitter. Or on my Twitter that I've retweeted him in like a maid outfit. He's just a creepy dude who does weird things. So
there you go.
I mean, my best friend, everybody. But he, he's the one.
Well,
he's he's one of my best friends. I'd take a bullet for him because if he took a bullet, he would die instantly. He's like 30 pounds.
Oh, there you go. Let's be real though. Everyone does sort of have that like one friend,
Yeah.
Like there's always that one sort of friend.
Yeah. So funny story about that. So I'm actually betting on my life right now. Like I have my life insurance for the military on him. So that's $400,000 if I die before him because I'm that confident that he's going to die first. Yeah, isn't that fucking morbid?
That is pretty morbid. All right.
He thinks it's hilarious.
We're gonna move on now. We're gonna move on after that because that's way too morbid. All right, so I guess I'm gonna talk about myself of how I got into it.
Oh yeah, by all means.
Because I don't really want to wait for you to segue into me because I'm gonna steal the spotlight from you after that one because that's pretty morbid.
I love it when you take control.
Oh yeah, true.
True, bud.
So you really make it hard to segue. Oh my god!
Do it like a mall cop.
Yeah, do it like a mall cop. I don't think I actually started playing games until about kindergarten. I don't think I really started playing any video games until about kindergarten. And the first thing that I actually had, the very first console I had was the Super Nintendo, I think. And I just played that. I played Mario. I played Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers, whatever the hell it was, for that little thing. And I remember playing that game so damn much. And I don't know why this is a random memory, but I had a little hamster named Cubby, right? Like just a little hamster named Cubby.
Just a little hamster.
And Cubby would just kind of roll around in his ball while I played my game. And it was awesome because, I love my freaking hamster. And then one day, he, okay, maybe this is kind of morbid too, but
go ahead.
One day, he got under the TV and I didn't know what to do and I was freaked out. So I tried to get him. It was like one of those, like, I guess 2000s. Actually, no, it was like what? 1990s, like the late 1990s TVs, right? It's just one of those.
It's just like it's like
it's really, yeah, it's like really really big, and then like it just stands on the ground, Yeah. Like how like TVs are just flat screen and everything.
Yeah, it had a tube and it was just like a gigantic box. It's a crush hazard.
Yes, exactly. It's a crush hazard. That's the perfect way to put it, and that's the perfect thing for this story because my hamster got caught underneath that thing. And when I tried to get him out, I was playing my Super Nintendo, and I tried to get him out, so I pushed the TV over, it broke, and it killed the hamster. It wasn't too big of a TV. I guess it was big enough for a little 6-year-old, 7-year-old, or whatever the hell I was back then to push it over.
Oh, you're a big guy.
But, yeah, it was big enough to... I'm going to leave out the morbidness.
To crush the hamster.
But I killed my hamster. It crushed my hamster in a very unsatisfying way. And I'm not kidding when I say I can still hear that noise it made. I'm just sad. It's a really sad thing. Rest in peace, Cubby.
Sound like...
Rest in peace, Cubby. Exactly. But the point being is I started playing console games when I was 6. Oh my god.
Poor Cubby.
Yeah, poor Cubby. Fucking Cubby.
Oh my god.
Yeah, good name,
Do we
right?
make a memorial for Cubby when I come back?
Yeah, sure, you can do that. No, I was in kindergarten at the time because I only had that thing for a few months too, which is sad because there was like little lockers, I guess. Oh my god.
Cubby lived a short life from the pet store to your house, only to be crushed by a TV.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad for Cubby, but there's these little locker things that you had. It's like little inlets, and we called them Cubbies. It was like a kindergarten thing, and I was like,
All right, I'm gonna call my little hamster Cubby.
You're gonna,
And, you know, I
you're
called
gonna
the
be
Cubby.
my best friend forever. And Cubby looks at you with those eyes, not
Yeah,
knowing what kind of
Cubby-
monster you really were.
yeah. Cubby gives me those "don't kill me with a TV" eyes, and I killed Cubby. Unfortunately,
4 months into being a hamster in Chile gives you that "don't kill me with the TV eyes."
Oh my god, yeah. Whatever. So, I went on playing Nintendo games because it was my favorite thing. And then I played PlayStation games. I played like some weird Alien Predator game. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I got a PS2. And then, I think when I was in about 4th grade, my freaking... You still are on that. You're still on that, huh?
When did you get the computer after you killed the hamster with the TV?
Yeah. That was my reward. Oh my god! My parents were just testing my morality. It's like when he kills the hamster, we'll give him the computer. No, we always just had like a little house computer, you know.
Yeah,
like,
so
it used to
did
be
I.
in my parents' room, and it was like a little dial-up thing, and then it was
Oh
moved
man,
down
I
here
hate that
to
sound. That sound makes me
yeah,
cringe.
like that one. Yeah, it's like a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And
Or you've got mail.
that one sucked. Then we moved it down here. And, like, right where I'm sitting right now, you know where I'm sitting. That's actually where our computer was for, like, the longest time. And I played, like, little games, like, here and there, like, on the computer. I played, like, a Hercules game. I'd use, like, the little kids' picks or whatever it was, like, the little paint bucket, like, oh, no. Do you remember that crap?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so fun. Like, I could probably spend about 10, 15 minutes right now on that, whatever the hell the program
I remember
actually
Addicting
called.
Addicting Games.
Yeah. That was really good, too.
Remember Addicting Games? Oh, yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then this kid in my class named Devin, he was talking about something called RuneScape, and I was like, "What are you freaking talking about?" And he was like, "Well, there's something called Fun Armor," and I played RuneScape,
I remember that.
and I got Fun Armor. You know, it's awesome. It's like looks like little jester stuff, and like I'm going around and I'm hitting 99s on people. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, like, you need to come play this game. Like, it's like the ultimate goal. Once you get Fun Armor, like, you can beat the game. I was like, okay. So I went and sat down, and I played, and I got instantly addicted. I would freaking go over to my friend's house. We would just take turns on the computer logging into accounts. My friend Chris's dad, he actually played with us, and he had, like, 200K, and we were like, whoa, how'd you get that? And he was like, oh, well, you know, I just killed chickens for feathers. So that's what we did. We would kill chickens for feathers and everything. And eventually, I remember asking him one day, hey, Mr. Chris's dad, how'd you get the Fun Armor? He's like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I think he called us jagonals. I don't know. He called us something stupid. You jagonals. Like, I don't know. He was fun.
He was a fun dad.
No. No, he was a fun dad. He called me Johnny Kaboom, and he called his son Two Lashes. I don't know why, but he called us Johnny Kaboom and Two Lashes. I think
how old was this dude? That sounds like something you hear in like the 50s.
Well, no.
Hey, Johnny Kaboom and Mr. Timmy Two Lashes. That's what that sounds like.
No, he was just Two Lashes, I think, or whatever the hell he was called. Something along those lines. And he's like a normal dad. And you're like, yeah. You know, is there Fun Armor? He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never heard of that. So I kept trying to find it for like the next couple of months, and I couldn't find it, and it pissed me off so much that I quit. And I remember going and talking to him like just about every day at recess to Devin, and he would say, yeah, no, it exists in the game. Like it's there.
What a piece
it's
of
actually
shit.
real. Yeah, but he's a piece of shit. He's a liar because I quit until 6th grade, and then I met my friend Ryan, who started talking about how he played RuneScape. I was like, oh yeah, I used to play. He's like, we should play together, and we would call each other on the house phones.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah, it was so fun. I would call him on the house phone for like hours, and we'd tie up the freaking line. And I remember my mom would come in and be like, hey, can I use the phone? It's like, okay. You know, when we used to have a house phone, we don't freaking have one anymore because that's just kind of the way.
This is the way technology progressed.
Yeah, it's just kind of the way it is these days.
Do you have a house phone? Oh my god, you get laughed at now. You get bullied by adults. Adults will bully you if you have a house phone. Yeah, now.
Adults will literally bully you. It's like, what's the internet? I know I don't have a house phone, but what's the internet? You know. But yeah, and then I remember telling him like, yeah, there's this thing called Fun Armor. Like we got to go find it, and we never found it. And now I know that he lied to me. So fuck you, Devin.
Yeah, this is a liar. We're getting everything out today.
Yeah, we're really getting everything out. Fucking
the fucking Marine, Devin.
Yeah.
It's a child. It's
all two of those things.
All two of them. Your hamster.
1 point each.
I mean, I remember Christian and I used to play quite consistently together. I don't remember at what point I started, but I got to the point where I was like 40, and I think my total level might have been like in the 300-400s. You know, I didn't really have that much going on, but I did have membership. We both had membership. And Christian had a halberd, a rune halberd, and I really wanted one. So I saved up, I bought one, and we went to the wilderness to go train on lesser demons, where, I think, is it Garak? Where's the Anakarl? One of those teleports that in the rune place with where it recharges your prayer points. I think we sat there for 3 or 4 days after school just training on these things. And one day we convinced my friend Aaron to come with us. Aaron had like full adamant and a rune 2H and like no food. He brought no food. So Christian and I are on the house phone talking to each other, and we are talking on three-way, right? So we have Aaron on the other line because we finally got him to come in because we just liked exploring the wilderness a lot. I think we're all like in the 50 combat range, and we're all members, so we are kind of exploring deep. We're at like 30 or 40 wilderness, and I PM Christian, hey, let's kill Aaron. So,
oh my god. That's such like a classic RuneScape thing to do.
How I came up with the idea of killing him, I don't know, because I didn't even know you could attack people in the wilderness. So I think I might have right-clicked him. So I said, hey, let's kill Aaron.
Yeah, it used to not even be dangerous. Like, you were just told it's a dangerous place. Like, you will lose your items and you'll die.
Right.
But you'd walk around and, like, people wouldn't really... Like, not always, obviously. Sometimes you ran into people. But
right. Well, it was dead. It was always dead.
Yeah. It was always dead in the sense. But that's kind of, like, a nice thing about the wild, you know? Like, you never know when someone could run into you.
Right,
you know?
right.
Even though it's inherently dead... But you could always have someone run into you, and it still holds true to this day, regardless of what you think of the wild. Even though it's a lot more active back then,
right?
You can still always run into someone, and I used to do that with my friend too. Actually, like at first I didn't even know that the wild was dangerous, but go on.
Well, yeah, so that was a surprise to me, like being able to attack him. So, Christian and I had our adamant two-handed swords and our rune halberds in our inventory. And we equipped, both of us had our Addy 2Hs on, and we just start killing Aaron. And Aaron's like, guys, what are you doing? And as we started killing him, like, as
Goofy fucking Aaron,
yeah,
dude.
like Aaron,
you know what we're doing.
Yeah,
Aaron,
we're killing you. And Christian and I are laughing. We're laughing our little prepubescent balls off. We are laughing so hard. And Aaron hangs up the phone. Next day at school, his mother comes and yells at us, like, in whatever.
He probably went and cried to his mom.
Yeah, for the next 7 years, Aaron and his parents hated us. Like, absolutely hated us. Anytime Aaron had anything going on, we weren't allowed. They wouldn't look at us. Every time we'd get death stares from his fucking parents, Christian and I. Funniest shit I've ever done in RuneScape. I like his parents, just from that one thing. Like, we didn't even bully him. We literally just killed him in RuneScape. We didn't give back his stuff, obviously, because fuck that. But, like, We got a Rune 2H out of it. That's all I'm gonna say. We got a Rune 2H out of it.
Yeah, you got a Rune 2H. It was worth it.
It was worth it.
That 7 years of not being invited, it was worth it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were
Dude,
all in
that
fourth
reminds
grade,
me
right?
though. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that just shows.
That
you.
was a lot. It was a lot. It was probably 80K back then too for a Rune 2H.
Well, yeah. I mean, we killed some kid for his Rune 2H, and his parents held a 7-year grudge. If that tells you anything, I mean,
that tells you a lot about those parents.
well, yeah. Or
that tells you how they deal with those problems.
well, I mean, I wonder what would have happened if we started bullying him. Like, what kind of grudge? What kind?
Beat the crap out of
They'd probably
their
beat the
son.
shit out of us.
Oh yeah, no, they'd probably beat you. Yeah, exactly. Or they'd beat up your parents.
His mom was hot though.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
See?
I remember.
There's
If I
a silver
remember.
lining. There's a silver lining to everything.
There really is.
That reminds me. You know, as we're coming up towards the end here, that reminds me of this one friend that I had. His name was Munch Loot, or his name was Munch, right? And I like this was my best friend back then. Like when I was in 5th grade. Like he was one of my best friends. Like I never talked with him over anything, of course, but like he was like this British kid, and he was what I learned 2BH from, the term TBH. I still remember this because like we would talk every day, every night. Like, and he had a 5-hour difference. I don't think I really ever understood that, but he would be like, "Hey, I'm gonna get off now. Like I'm gonna get off TBH." Or whatever it was. I forget what it was. I think he said no. The exact line he told me was, "All right, man, I'm gonna go," or "All right, boy," whatever he called me back then. I don't think he called me man. He said, "I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna watch porn, to be honest, or TBH, and I'm gonna go to bed." And I was like, "You're gonna watch porn and TBH?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "What's that mean? To be horny?" He said, "No, it's just to be honest." It's like, okay. So I you know, like I learned a lot from this kid, right?
Those Brits and their crafty words.
Yeah, exactly. I knew him for like a long time. I think like 2 years back then to a kid, which is a long time. And like right before the Wild actually, or like maybe a year or two rather, before the Wild got patched or whatever you want to call it, he, what was it? He asked me, and I think I maybe had 4 mil at this point. Like maybe I was like starting to get balling a little bit. I had 4 mil. I had like 1 mil cash. And he asked me, "Hey, I'm trying to make a PK video, you know, because he made PK videos every now and then. Like, we all made dinky little PK videos." And I asked him, "Hey, like, I need to, no, he asked me rather, "Hey, I'm making a PK video, and I want to have a really cool clip in it, right?" And at this point, I remember he was PMing me from his account, Munch Loot. And my account, because my name used to be something with Skimble, my account name was iSkimLoot, and that's where the name actually comes from, for those that are curious. I remember he PM'd me, and he said, "Hey, I need you to give me as much money as you can for this PK video. I'll return it to you right away. Just come trade me the money, and I'm going to go record the PK video." I said, "Okay, no problem." It seems suspicious, but I was like, okay, I'll give him 1 mil. It's a lot of my money, but I trust him. I've known him for 2 years at this point, or whatever it was. I've known him for a long time. And then he said, he just runs off into the Wild, and then he just says, oh my god, I died." He PMs me and just says, "Oh my god, I died." And I was like, "Oh my god, you died?" He said, "Yeah, I kept sharks." Like, "Oh my god, dude, I died. No way." And then I thought to myself, because he had a magic short bow, and he told me what he was peeking with rune arrows and everything, and it didn't make sense to me back then, but he would have kept his magic short bow. He would have kept his glory he had on. He would have kept his freaking red D-hide or whatever he had. He would have kept all of that. But he told me he just kept 3 sharks. And I sat there and I did a little detective work. And I went to the Wild and I died with an inventory of 10 rune arrows and 10 sharks. And I only kept the rune arrows. So to this day, I knew he lied to me. So
Wonder what he's doing
your
now.
friend, yeah, well, not freaking, he's enjoying the fruits of his labor. So that, I felt like Aaron at that point. I was that Aaron.
You were Aaron. Damn.
I was Aaron. Yeah, literally though. So I feel like that's just like a RuneScape thing though. Like you kind of just need to be BS. That's the RuneScape way. Well, regardless, there was another point, but I think we should probably save that for the next podcast.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
overall, because I'm at about an hour at this point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're about an hour.
After
so
you cut out all the dead space and mess ups.
there's not much dead space though. The mess ups are in the beginning. So we're at about an hour.
It's true.
That's gonna be it, guys. Thanks for watching the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate every one of you. I for everybody that's made it this far, and if you like this video, you're gonna get
The
one
podcast.
jawbreaker, the size of Mars.
Give me that fucking couch.
Give me that fucking couch.
Maybe we should explain that, but wow, that would be a really good topic for the next fucking podcast.
Ooh.
Like all of that girl. like we could talk about our crazy girl stories, dude.
Okay.
Because I there's plenty. There's freaking plenty. All right. So I'm not sure if this is gonna be weekly, bi-weekly. If you guys like this that much and this does so well, then let us know. So I will see you guys probably tomorrow with another video. Not tomorrow, in a few days with another video. It's Thanksgiving coming up soon. But
Thanksgiving.
other than that,
podcast. Hey.
Thanksgiving.
Give me that fucking couch.
All right. Any last words?
Yes. Thank you for watching this video. And whatever time you're watching this, hello from the past, and I will see you guys in the future. Bye, babies.
Bye, boys.